Instagram family. So I already let you know that I wanted to talk about the holidays and how they can be made more comfortable. We have to consider the environment in our country right now. And a lot of us really are a bit stressed, right? So now you add the holidays to it, and some of us are stressed during holidays. We know that we have to show up someplace and we have to present a certain way, and there have always been critics, even within our family. We're either, not dressed properly, or we're not eating what they think we should eat, or we didn't bring anything, or we didn't help clean up. But, we all have families, and if you interact with family during holidays, you know the kind of stress that I'm talking about. So you add to it the fact that we're all going through a little something here in America right now. But I have a very long history of dealing with various types of holidays. Now, as a clinical supervisor and a mental health program director, I always chose to work holidays. Of course, I didn't need to. There was lots of staff, counselors, nurses, people who could work those holidays if people were in inpatient treatment in a hospital setting, or if they were in outpatient treatment and they just had appointments during the week. It didn't matter. There was lots of staff there, but I had no problem letting people go home, and I would work the holiday. Why? Because more crisis occurred during holidays than any other time of the year. And I found out early on in my career as an administrator that it was easier for me to be there in the facility than to be at home or across country and someone's calling me and saying, "Oh, Dr. Langford, this happened. What should we do? And this one is missing. We can't find him. And this one's threatening suicide." And, it was easier for me to just be, especially Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve. I also never discharged anyone on New Year's Eve. It's the worst thing in the world, especially when I worked in drug treatment programs, to let a person with a drug and alcohol problem out of 30 days of treatment on January 31st. It was pretty much unfair, right? So I've learned to deal with holidays, and what I have to say to some people is that prevention is the best cure. That's why I stayed. That's why I was there for crisis prevention. So with the family, what do? There are some people in your family who've always had views that were contrary to yours. It'll be worse this year. There'll be lots of opportunities for conflict and disagreement. What do? Do you not go? According to how toxic the environment is, you may choose not to go. But if it's an environment that you can manipulate, and you have other family members in your household who want to go, although you know how it usually turns out, here's a couple tricks. Go early. Work the room. Make sure that everyone who's there, the host and their family, are, you're interacting with them, and go so early that maybe they're still cooking. You could actually bring breakfast. I've actually shown up with a pitcher of pancake mix and a grill and said, "Hey, why don't I feed you while you're cooking?" Make a big splash, make a big show. I also brought my paper plates. I'm known for them. And you feed the cook and the family while they're cooking. And by the time other people arrive, you're kind of like, a little tired, got a few things to do this evening. Hello, everybody, but I've been here a while and I'm going to move on, okay? And you're out, having made other plans for the evening, or just resting at home. There's a way you can interact with family, friends, neighbors, and prevent the possibility of disagreement by going early and leaving early. What else do you miss out on when you leave early? You miss out on when the alcohol enters. Alcohol lowers our inhibitions. When people start to drink, they're more likely to have loose lips and to not use restraint, not observe boundaries. Although you may have established boundaries, once everyone starts drinking, they forget that they're not supposed to step on your toes, and they do. So by going early and leaving early, you will definitely be able to prevent some of those interactions that would be most uncomfortable. Also, Another thing you can do to prevent is if you know that there's a long-standing disagreement going with a particular friend or family member, start now, start today to talk about resolving it, even if they're the one who harmed you. Initiate the conversation and say, how about burying the hatch? What about starting a new year? I don't think that anyone has to be blamed, but we will be interacting over the holidays as family or as neighbors or friends. And why don't we just give our friendship a new start? That also can help to soften the blow. It doesn't take away the history, but it does cause that other person to think twice about starting a confrontation during the holiday. We have to protect our own mental illness and our own mental health. If you know you have a history of mental illness and you have anxiety disorders, do all that you can to prevent putting yourself in a situation that is going to trigger you. If you don't have a mental health history and you know that you're slightly annoyed and you've only been doing some of these traditional ceremonies to please others, it could be the year that you opt out. So don't forget, give yourself that opportunity. Let's see, what kind of questions do we have here? People are asking about, what if your kids want to go? What if your kids want to go someplace and you don't want to go? Plan ahead. Have an alternative outing for them, and also call the host, and you might want to do one of those early arrival things and then have another activity that you set up for the kids for the afternoon, which would also be your excuse. If you don't have kids or a spouse to go with you, don't forget a wing person. Your friend, your buddy, who is also your excuse, that you can't stay all day. So make sure that what you're saying to people has some truth to it, and you have a person there to support you, and you're not necessarily going to get involved. No serious matters have ever been resolved at a Thanksgiving dinner. No serious political, economic, family problems have ever been brought to any closure at a Christmas dinner. It's not going to happen then. It's just going to go on and on and on. So I'm happy to take your comments. If anyone has anything that they would like to ask afterwards, please submit your questions and comments. I have opportunities to respond to those during the week, and I can probably say that I will be doing more and more live streams between now and the end of the holiday season. Okay? Well, thank you for listening, and I hope I can be helpful to you. Bye-bye.